basketball. Legendary head coach Tubby Smith has stepped down as the head coach at his alma mater of High Point University and is being replaced by his son Gigi Smith. Gigi will coach remainder of this season and all of next season before a determination is made on the next coach. Probably a good chance he hangs on to that if he does a good job. Tubby Smith had 2 pretty recent battles with COVID that played a role in this move. He's coached for a long time, a bunch of different places. Most notable stop was probably at Kentucky, where he spent 10 years, won 5 SEC tournaments, 5 regular season titles, and a national championship. He held a 263-83 record and was elected to the University of Kentucky Athletics Hall of Fame after coming in and replacing another legendary coach in Rick Pitino. Smith has also been the head coach of Tulsa, Georgia, Minnesota, Texas Tech, and Memphis, before returning to High Point, his alma mater, in 2018. For his career, he won 642 games, lost 369, and spent 31 years as a college basketball head coach. Another coaching legend making headlines, Coach K from Duke. This is his last season at the helm. The report arose a couple weeks ago that he chose his former player John Shire as his successor, even though the university wanted to hire another one of his former players, which was Harvard head coach Tommy Amaker, who is older than Shire, has coached at multiple spots as a head coach, and has a proven track record for winning as a head coach, especially at Harvard, taking them to the NCAA tournament 5 times and in a traditionally one-bid league. Amaker has also been the head coach at Michigan and Seton Hall and has a 261-148 record. It's way too early to tell if the decision was right. We haven't seen Shire coach a game yet, but at the same time, I would trust Coach K to not leave his program in the wrong hand, but you can't say that the Amaker move wouldn't have made any sense either. In the NBA, we just returned from the All-Star break a couple days ago. I believe the first games back were on Thursday, so it seems like a good time to update the playoff picture. Remember, each conference will consist of a field of 8 teams. The top 6 in each conference are automatically in the field, seeded 1 through 6, and the next 4 in each conference will play in a play-in tournament for the last 2 spots in that conference. So currently in the East, we have Miami, Chicago, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Milwaukee, and Boston all in. Toronto, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Atlanta would make up the field for the play-in games, with the Washington Wizards just 2 games behind Atlanta for that last spot there. In the West, you have Phoenix, Golden State, Memphis, Utah, Dallas, and Denver. Dallas and Denver are tied at that spot, by the way. All in the field. The play-in would be Minnesota, the Clippers, the Lakers, and either Portland or New Orleans, who are tied right now, so the tiebreaker currently goes to New Orleans, and San Antonio is also just a game back in those, so that is your updated NBA playoff picture. To college football, a couple college head coaches have received extensions. Michigan's Jim Harbaugh has agreed to a 5-year deal through the 2026 season, which is really just a 1-year extension on his current deal. But it comes shortly after Harbaugh interviewed for the Minnesota Vikings job and had voiced his displeasure with his contract. Won't completely keep him away from NFL opportunities, but at least keeps him there for the time being. Baylor has also given its head coach Dave Aranda an extension that goes through the 2028 season. Aranda led the Bears to a school record 12 wins and a number 5 ranking in just his second year at the helm in Waco. Notre Dame has hired Al Golden as its next defensive coordinator. Golden replaces Marcus Freeman, who was promoted to head coach for the Fighting Irish. Golden has been around the college game since 1994 and played at Penn State from 1989 to 1991. He has a background as a linebackers coach and has served as head coach at both Temple and Miami. He also spent brief periods of times in the NFL with the Lions and the Bengals. Also in college football, the College Football Playoff Committee has committed to the 4-team playoff field for at least another 4 seasons. Experts have said that the field will expand eventually, but it's just not the right time yet. The athletic directors and everybody involved was not ready to move on to the expanded field, which most people expect to be 12 whenever it gets expanded. Quickly back to the NFL. After taking the Bengals to the Super Bowl, head coach Zach Taylor has been given a contract extension through 2026. The Bengals are still just 16-32-1 under Taylor's watch, but have shown incredible progress, especially this season, in winning their first playoff game in 31 years and going to their first Super Bowl since the 1988-89 season. The Houston Texans have hired Pep Hamilton as the offensive coordinator, replacing Tim Kelly. Hamilton has a reputation for developing quarterbacks, which is crucial right now in Houston, whether it's Davis Mills, Deshaun Watson, or someone else. They need to find that next quarterback. Hamilton has worked with the Jets, 49ers, Bears, Browns, Chargers, and most notably with the Colts with Andrew Luck there during his career. He's also led offenses on Jim Harbaugh's Michigan and Stanford staffs and was the head coach of the DC Defenders in the most recent version of the XFL. Last year, he was the passing coordinator and the quarterbacks coach for the Texans, so this is really another in-house promotion for Houston, and he's a veteran coach. We'll see how well that works out. The NHL trade deadline is still a couple weeks away, but that hasn't stopped teams from already making big moves. In the month of February, there have been a few trades. Tampa trade forward Ty Feldhaber to Dallas for forward Alexei Lipinov. Tampa has also traded center Jimmy Huntington to Nashville for center Anthony Richard. Those are pretty minor deals there. Canadians have traded goalie Andrew Hammond to Minnesota for forward Brandon Braddock. Arizona has traded defenseman Michael Callahan to Boston for 2024 seventh rounder. Coyotes have also played two separate trades with the Maple Leafs, trading goalie Carter Hutton for cash considerations from Toronto, and also acquiring forward Nick Ritchie for forward Ryan Zingle and defenseman Ilya Lyubushkin. The Seattle Kraken, the 32nd NHL team, the newest team in the NHL, made history by having the first all-black NHL broadcast crew in a game against the Winnipeg Jets. Everett Fitzhugh and JT Brown called the game for Root Sports Northwest. Very cool move by the latest entry into the National Hockey League. Lastly, in the wake of the Russian attacks on Ukraine, the International Ice Hockey Federation, which regulates international ice hockey play, like the World Juniors and those kind of tournaments, has banned both Russia and Belarus from play in all categories until further notice, and they have also pulled the 2023 World Junior Championships that were supposed to be in Russia out of Russia and will find a new host. That's all for this edition of the Travis on Sports podcast. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and whichever podcasting platform you may be using to listen. Thank you again for listening, and I'll be back soon with another episode discussing the latest sports news.